Good evening, Thierry Roche here, the American Dream TV. I want to welcome my guest, Josh Burris. He's the Executive Vice President of the largest mortgage banker company in the entire Mid-Atlantic states. And the reason I've brought Josh on is to discuss something very timely right now that a lot of you are not even aware of. And I'm calling it the refi ripoffs. Everyone knows it's a great time to refinance right now. Unfortunately, everybody and their uncle's got a mortgage company that's trying to help you do that. And they're competing on price, they're competing on advertisements, and you're getting ripped off in ways you don't even know about. So what you don't know can hurt you. So Josh, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I want to start off right quick, just getting right to the point. What is it that people don't get about refinancing? I mean, most people think it's pretty simple. My interest rate's 5%. I want to refinance down to 3%. I find someone with the best rate, and I did a good thing. What's wrong with that?
Sure. No, it's very interesting. I think a lot of times, especially now in such an age of digital media where you're constantly being advertised to all the time. And It's always about how can we make the biggest shiny object possible to grab your attention. And quite oftentimes that is the interest rate. And people immediately think they see the bright shiny object as a low rate advertised, but what they don't quite dig into is all the additional potential closing costs that can make that interest rate completely irrelevant to their personal financial situation. So as a true mortgage advisor, when you are doing this job and you're talking about a refinance, the first and foremost question should be, what is your goal with refinance? It's not just blanket advertising about great rates and low rates. We really decide to dive in with our clientele and make sure that we understand exactly what their personal need is. Because the purpose of a refinance can be different for everyone. There's people who, yes, they have a higher rate than the market provides, and we want to drop that interest rate for them in order to improve their cash flow. But there are some people who may have student loans that have been out there for a really long time at a high interest rate that they may want to consolidate into their mortgage loan. They might have car payments. They might have credit card balances that are really outrageous right now. They have much higher interest rates on. Some people may be moving in the next couple of years, and dropping that rate, no matter what, incurs some type of closing costs, and it may not actually to do so.
You could, so if I hear you correctly, you could actually be paying more in the closing costs, which I know from being in the business as a realtor can be thousands to tens of thousands of dollars, than the monthly savings would be over, let's just say, a 3 to 5 year period. And it doesn't make sense if you're going to be moving soon, or refinancing again, or turning it into a rental property or whatever.
Well, that's exactly right. And one of the oldest forms and tactics of loan officers throughout history has always been the no closing cost refinance.
Oh, Josh. Okay. Let me just pause you. That's half the reason I brought you on here. That has got more frustrated and more angry. And I do this on the radio, I do this on TV, and I'm so tired of hearing this scam. And it sounds great. I really want you to break this down so people understand it's not no cost just because you're not paying up front. It's like saying, hey, your car, you don't put any down payment, there's no cost. There's an incredible cost for that premium of not putting up a down payment or closing costs. So please.
Well, that's correct. So ultimately, depending on what municipality you live in, there's always going to be some fixed costs of doing a refinance, whether it's recordation taxes, whether it's lender fees. No matter what, there is a true cost to refinancing a mortgage. And what lenders attempt to do by saying a no closing cost refinance is they give you an interest rate that is actually higher than what you would get traditionally in order to give you a credit towards closing costs. The closing costs are still real. You still pay them, but as opposed to necessarily paying them out of pocket or rolling it into your loan amount, you are paying it in the form of a higher interest rate. If you ultimately hold the home for a longer period of time, in a lot of scenarios, it actually turns out to be much more financially beneficial for you to roll those closing costs into your loan amount as opposed to an interest rate where you have no closing cost. So unfortunately, it's a marketing scheme that constantly gets blown out of the water.
Right. And I want to be clear that it's not wow, I like the term you use it. I forget the term you use, but you sounded more like a financial planner when you were describing yourself as a mortgage consultant, I think. I'm not sure the word you used.
Well, that's exactly right. And that's really what we are, is our job is to look at your entire financial picture, not just, can I get you from one rate down to a lower one? I have to ask you detailed questions about how long do you want to be in the home? What are your goals with a refinance? Do you have any family members? Do you have children that are potentially going to college? We have to get full financial oversight as to your own personal situation to develop a customized solution just for you. And that's really what a mortgage planner and a mortgage originator should do on your behalf. If they immediately start out just giving you a rate quote out of the gate without asking you any qualifying questions about yourself, that's what you need to.
So let me close with this question. What is it that determines how someone can get the best rate with any mortgage company? Not just yours. I know yours is one of the largest. As a result, obviously you get more money in, therefore you can offer better discounts. And of course you guys get better rates. That's part of the reason you're one of the biggest. It's not the only reason. But what is it with you that two individuals can come in and have two rates at the same time? What determines that?
Absolutely. Well, there's a multitude of factors that goes into the interest rate that you can qualify for personally. Two of the largest factors are your credit score and your what's called your loan to value ratio. So, and that's your loan amount divided into the value of your home. Those are two of the most important factors in determining your score. But also we look at things like what kind of loan product do you want? What term do you want? And what makes the most sense for you? Are you getting cash out of the house in order to maybe build a deck? During COVID times, there have been more home renovations than I even know what to talk about. And a lot of times when you're pulling equity out of a house are a little bit higher than if you're just trying to reduce your rate. So those are all things that go into play. But the most important part is that you work with somebody who has the local knowledge and a true wide range of products to be able to help provide the best product for your individual needs.
Josh, we're out of time. I want to thank you very much for shedding light on this. A lot of people don't understand. Hopefully now they do. And in a few minutes, they can make a better decision. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.